Alright guys, welcome back to another Patreon request, and this one comes from John McKinney, who asked me to do a hero-villain mashup between Batman and Doctor Doom. But before we go any further, as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, let's get started with this video. So, what would it be like if Doctor Doom and Batman were opponents? Now, Doom is obviously the alpha and omega when it comes to Marvel supervillains. The guy is a master of science and magic and robotics. He's the monarch of an entire country. And then you have the goddamn Batman. Now, what's interesting to note is that while we've had several Marvel crossovers, we've never had Batman encounter Victor Von Doom. Oh, sure, they've been involved in crossovers together, but they've never really encountered one another. Which I find interesting because Batman and Doom would be a very fascinating competition. Because both are very intelligent, both are, great strategists, and, I think it would be kind of interesting to see how well Batman could take on someone who's literally just a Chad at everything he does. So, yeah. So I do see this, if Batman and Doctor Doom were pitted against one another, this would be a very brutal fight. This would be a very brutal enemy for Bruce to say. Like, with hero-villain mashup, it's more like, it's not so much the fight, more like, what would it be like if this villain was this guy's, in his rogues gallery? Now, Batman would have a lot of trouble attacking Doom the same way Superman did in that god-awful second Spider-Man-Superman crossover, where Doom was like being the villain in Lethal Weapon 2, where he was like, I have diplomatic immunity, you can't touch me. So if Doom was in Gotham, he would probably go to like a Latvian, let's just say this is the Marvel DC crossover Earth, he would go to like a Latvian embassy in Gotham and just be like, ho-ho, you cannot touch me, Batman, for I have diplomatic immunity. And that's the thing, you could say, well, Ra's has no, he doesn't. He's not the ruler of a country. But here's the thing. Batman doesn't really give a shit about laws, whereas Superman does. Batman doesn't give... He will go into Latveria. But if you think Doom wouldn't be ready for Batman in his own country, yeah, the guy prepares for, like, every superhero on the planet. You think if he was living in a universe with, like, Batman in there, you think he wouldn't be prepared for Batman trying to, like, sneak into Latveria? He'd be like... Ah, the Dark Knight. I was wondering when I'd see you. Could Doctor Doom figure out Batman's identity? Probably not. Because, well, I say that because Batman, I've seen, Doctor Doom encounter other villains. If he can't figure out Peter Parker's identity as Spider-Man or Matt Murdock as Daredevil, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think he would, I don't think Doom would care. Like, Doom wouldn't give a shit he wouldn't obsess over who it is. He would just be like, you are just another, challenge for Doom to conquer. So that would be how it would be, is that Doom wouldn't care about who's under the mask. He would care about the here and now, which the here and now is Batman. And you have to understand that, like, while Batman doesn't give a shit about, international laws or whatever, he would go into a Latvian embassy to attack Victor, but also encounter probably a Doombot or 2. Or 10. Or 20. That's really what we're trying to get at here, is that Doctor Doom would just have, unleashed Doombots after Doombots. Now, Batman is, of course, we know the old saying, you give Batman prep time, he can, be a god at anything. Here's the thing. Doom, you give prep time, can be pretty unstoppable, too. So, Doom is just going to be like, your silly toys aren't going to work against me, Batman. Oh, by the way, you don't compete against magic all that time. Guess what also I am? I'm also the second greatest, I'm also one of the greatest magicians on this planet. And I know for a fucking fact, you don't compete with magic all that often, so, bippity boppity, bitch! So that would be something like, again, I know Batman has encountered magical beings before, but he doesn't really contend with magic. I mean, yeah, he has nth metal stuff that he has in his gadgetry, but he doesn't really prepare for someone like that. And Doom, like I said, will probably have, like, Doom would definitely counter anything the Dark Knight has. Like, if Batman and also, I think a lot of people forget how much of, like, a really good hand-to-hand fighter, Doom is. You know, a lot of people think, oh, he relies too much on his armor and his magic. No, Doom's pretty good at hand-to-hand fighting, too. I once saw one comic where he one-hit killed a lion while he was buck-ass naked. Yeah, he literally killed a lion in one hit, completely in the buff. So, yeah, him and Batman, if it came down to it, and if Batman challenged him to, like, you know, you're nothing without your armor, Doom would be like, let's go, bitch. Be the equivalent of, like, taking off the rings when you're about to fight. I'm just imagining Victor go, No, he didn't say that. He didn't say, hold my gauntlets. So, yeah, I do think it would be very interesting. I think I think Victor and Bruce would definitely compete on a mental level. Like, it'll be like kind of like a mental game of chess between the two. If Doom was conspiring in Gotham, I think it would be like a very, like, cat and mouse game between the two. So I do see, like, Dr. Doom would be a very cool opponent for Batman. I think Batman would be, you know, put to an edge, you know, back to the edge against someone like Victor in a head-on fight. The other thing is, too, I think a lot of people forget, if Batman did attack him in, like, a Latvian embassy or went right to Latveria, Dr. Doom would definitely call in some political favors, or should I say threats, and definitely put the screws on Batman in Gotham. Because he'd be like, okay, asshole, we'll play your game. Hey, Mr. President, one of your American operatives, who I'm going to assume you sent, came to my house and threatened me. You need to either get rid of Batman, or I will declare this will be a declaration of war, and this will be the end of you. So that's another way Doom could combat Batman. That's another thing I think a lot of people don't take into account. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if Batman had Dr. Doom in his rogues gallery? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, I'd like to thank John McKinney for this Patreon request. And as always, if you guys would like to leave a Patreon request in the comments below, just hit the link below, and head on over to my Patreon. You guys can hit the 4th tier, and then start sending me requests for videos for me to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.